Welcome to Real Talk with Real Estate Investors, where borrowers of Colony American Finance share their candid experiences. Sean, can you tell us a little bit about your company and what you do?
Sure. We started Equity West Capital Partners back in 2010. It was primarily a flip fund, and then we transitioned to a rental housing fund in 2013. We're focused mostly in Portland, Oregon, in the Tri-County area surrounding Portland. And we bought our first property as a rental fund in March of 2013. We bought a handful in that year. And then by 2015, we were buying 50 to 70 a year, same run rate year to date.
How was Colony American Finance able to help with your growth?
So when we first started buying in 2013, we were buying with hard money, which is obviously high interest rate and pretty painful to carry. And we knew once the properties were stabilized, we needed to find a long-term solution. So I went and put a package together, a request for proposal to any bank that would hear me, and I knocked on doors of local banks, bigger banks, Bank of the West, smaller banks that are just kind of regional banks, and every one of them told me, yeah, we can do 4 of these or 6 of these, but when I presented a package of 40 of them, they said, this is way beyond what we have. And I tried to explain that it's fairly similar to an apartment, it's just spread out all over town, but it's 40 units, none of them get their arms around it. So right about that time, the private equity groups started coming in with a product that would satisfy our needs, and we actually did our first loan with Colony in 2014. And they pretty much saved our business because without them, we wouldn't be able to continue buying and get out of the hard money.
Would you say you've seen continued growth in the past few years?
Yeah, absolutely. So by partnering with Colony, we were able to increase our buying power because we were able to quickly, every 3 to 6 months, accumulate properties and turn them into a long-term facility where they were cash flowing, and then put the money that we were able to get back out from the refinance out of the hard money into Colony. We were able to put that funds back to use in the market. So they helped us grow exponentially. And I actually have, reached out and worked on a limited basis with other companies out there that were doing the same thing. And it was a very painful experience. And, the first funding with Colony was definitely a longer process because it was one of the first ones they did. I mean, we were literally making the market at that time. But since then, I've funded 3 separate tranches, and they've just gotten smoother and smoother. And I think the last one we did in less than 60 days. So it was really nice.
Would you recommend our products and services to other residential investors like yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Colony has a really good underwriting team, streamlined process. I mean, the real big hang up on our last funding was appraisals, which was out of the hands of Colony, and it was just a third-party issue. And I mean, ultimately, I've definitely spoken with and actually worked with other private equity groups in the space, and Colony has been hands down the best to work with.
Colony American Finance is a specialty lender that provides loans to residential real estate investors. For more information about our portfolio term loans, single asset term loans, or acquisition credit lines, visit colonyamericanfinance.com.